Don't you just love it when a lobby goes down and breaks the game? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TTML Division 5. We are here on League Racing TV. I was going to say League of Europe, wasn't I? Yeah. We are here for League Racing TV here tonight for TTML Division 5. It is, of course, round 4 of the championship as we take in, of course, the Baku City Circuit from the streets of Azerbaijan, of course, the capital of Azerbaijan being Baku. I'm James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as always. As Dan might have suggested, he was in charge for the first part of the stream for qualifying. But that's because I couldn't get signed in. I was signed into the account, I just had an error message forcing me not to stream. But we're here, we're live, it's all fine. And Dan, we saw qualifying just then. Just talk us through what happened.
Yeah, qualifying was pretty hectic. We saw a lot of drivers... as I think the lobby settings are just getting changed. So we will have a custom grid available for you, which will match the results of qualifying. There's a thrilling conclusion to it, as it looked like Rocksteady was headed for pole position. He'd set a quick lap there at time of 1:38.8, was looking like that was going to be enough. Stan Rambo just stole it right at the death and came through. So he is leading the way with Rocksteady joining him. Then you've got the two big championship names, I'd say, at this stage of the season. Maze and Invictus lining up on the second row behind them. So that's a very intriguing prospect that you have up at the front. But yeah, qualifying was at times rather messy. We did see a lot of front wings flying. There are end plates coming off the cars. So I guess we're going to have to keep our eye out, see if the race is going to bring us the same sort of fortunes. Of course, we know, I'm pretty sure we all know Baku. It is a fearsome track. Definitely one of the most technically challenging on the entire calendar. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, because I reckon that this race is going to be very tricky for the drivers. I know from experience just how difficult it is to do a race around here without wrecking your front wing or just ripping a wheel off at some stage if you crash hard enough. So the driver's going to have to be very, very wary, because yeah, as we've stressed several times throughout the evening already, this is undoubtedly one of the hardest tracks that there is in F1 at the moment.
This is why Dan's in the commentary box rather than being out on track as well. If you saw his performance in League of Europe, then you know what we're talking about. I had to get that in, didn't I? I had to get that in. But with that qualifying order, it still doesn't mean that the championship is... the championship is not decided, but Maze still leads the championship coming into tonight on 65 points. Invictus in second on 57. Jibby Storm's been having connection issues. He's in third along with Jack Roos on 52 points. Schmidtsky in fifth along with Sapmi King on 35 points, tied for that position. Parcells and Stian Rambo are tied for 7th on 31 points. And Stian Rambo has actually gone ahead of Parcells because he picked up that 2 pole position points out on track. So he's technically on 33 points, but on the standing still, he's on 31. Salas in 9th on 29 and Nellis in 10th on 27. Just looking at that top 10, Maze had a really good qualifying session, Invictus had a really good qualifying session. Jibby Storm, the big noticeable absentee. How, from a mindset point of view, how distressing is that for Jibby Storm? Because he's third in the championship, he's only 13 points off Maze, and unfortunately his Wi-Fi let him down.
Yeah, that is going to be bitterly disappointing. But, on the other hand, we still have a lot more races to go in this season, so keep your eye out for that as well. I think after this one, we still have 7 races left. So there is plenty of time for that to be made up, as we now get the custom grid set up. I do hope that it's set in the near future, because we all have lives to get back to, I'm sure, after all this is done. But we... that sounds really bad. I apologise.
That's terrible. Terrible. But, go back to calling me Aiden, I think.
Oh.
It's going to be one of those nights, I think.
No, I didn't mean it that way. Of course, I'm very much looking forward to getting this race going when we do. I've seen just both in the virtual and the real world, Baku produces just such thrilling races that I can't wait to see unfold here tonight. So yeah, we're just, as we've mentioned, we're just getting that grid set up. Hopefully carried over for qualifying. We've got to keep an eye out as well. Make sure, because without qualifying in this lobby, The drivers will all have free reign of choosing their tyres. We just have to make sure that no one's cheating and trying to gain an advantage, particularly those inside the top 10. So we'll keep an eye out, but I'm sure everyone will comply. We'll get this going nice and cleanly, and hopefully this time we'll actually get our race at Baku underway so we can sort of start preparing. Custom grids usually take a little while to set up, so we may be waiting a little while longer. But until then, I guess we're just going to have to find more things to talk about, James, and before we can fully get the action going. So yeah, hopefully you all just sit tight. We'll get back to things soon enough. But yeah, with Jimmy Storm having that disaster with his Wi-Fi, it does mean that there's the potential. Of course, the only other driver that's really near our top two is Jack Cruz, reserve driver. I'm not sure if he has been given a full-time seat as of yet in the Renault tonight. But really, this presents a real opportunity, I think, for Mason and Invictus to establish a crushing lead now in this early stage of the season.
I believe, actually, Jack Roos has been given that Renault seat, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I had a look on the driver's lineup before we came live, and I was looking through, I was scouring through, and I was thinking, who on earth has changed a seat? I think Jack Roos has been given that full-time seat, and why not? Because he is currently in tied for third position, along with Jimmy Storm. 52 points, 13 points off the championship lead, all to play for coming into tonight, as you say. Baku being a really infamous track. 2017, remember. Stroll, Bottas, to the line, only separated by 200th of a second. Last night, in TTML Division 2, a 10th of a second separating the win. That was Seb and whoever finished second off the top of my mind. I can't remember. I can't even remember what happened yesterday, never mind what happened a few weeks ago. But I can remember what happened in 2017. Yeah, my mind works in mysterious ways sometimes. And Sway as well, along with AJ, very close to the line last night in TTML Division 2. If AJ didn't have a 3-second time penalty, the gap would have been 2 thousandths. Yes, you heard me right, 2 thousandths of a second. And I think that was for either 5th or 6th position out on track last night in TTML Division 2. So, if we can have an infamous commentary like TTL F2, Blizzard Toxic around here, that'll be absolutely fantastic, where we might have the infamous words come out of my mouth. We're going to have a photo finish. You never know.
I think this track is the motherland of photo finishes. I've commentated over an F2 race in League of Europe that came down to just a few hundredths of a second over the line. That was between drivers Chill and Campbell. Of course, that has nothing to do with this league, but it's just a little bit of a testament to this track, because it's such a long run to the line. It can produce those sort of conclusions to races. We've seen it in the real world, we've seen it in the virtual world. This track, because of that massive straight, massive DRS zone, it just produces these side-by-side finishes, and I think no matter how many of them that we're going to have, and we may even get one more tonight, I think that still it's still just as special as the first time we saw it. It's just such a thrilling way to end a race. You don't see it much in like just traditional open wheel racing, or at least on a maybe on an oval you might see that, but on a road course, it's you don't really see that very often. So to have a track like here at Baku where you can get straight to that is really thrilling.
There's been a crash in the lead of the race in Division 4. Division 4 is live, and Yigamal and Zam have had a coming together, and there's a safety car just been deployed in Division 4. Just watching that to the right-hand side of me. If you want to tune in for that, go along. Graham Chaplin Callboy taking you through the action. And now Kieran Trapp is in the lead of the race. But another safety car in Division 4. Quite a few early pit stops there as well. We are about to start, though, in Division 5. The most important division of them all, of course. But the Gold commentary team taking you through the action. I hope I'm not going to be called Aiden tonight. I might call him David 1 or 2 times as well. But who knows? We are, of course, here where the old meets the new in Baku, in the capital of Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan in the news, really, for the wrong reasons. Obviously, with their disputed territory currently with Armenia. The less we say about that, though, the better. We are here for one reason only, and that is to see some great action out on track. 19 drivers do await us here, and we better get going into the race. Eventually, we're starting about 6 laps later than Division 4, but we're about to start.
Indeed, we are. We can get this one going. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to, I'm sure. Hopefully, the second time of asking, we will eventually get this one going. So these drivers will be selecting, of course, at the moment, their tyre allocations for the race. Probably won't make much difference to their eventual strategies. We'll keep an eye out on how that is all going to come together. So, we now just load ourselves in.
Ooh.
Ahead of it there, bright and sunny here today. The original race, I think, was a little bit overcast. So, yeah, don't think there's much threat of rain. We'll keep an eye out, of course. It is a long 50% race, but judging by that, that picturesque look in the background, I think there's a very small chance that we're going to be seeing rain today.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we'll see rain in the race. I have commentated, I think, in League of Europe on... League of Europe seems to be springing up all the time, I think, in Division 5, because we are, of course, affiliated there as well. But in League of Europe, they had an intermediate conditions race. I think it was Season 2, if I'm not mistaken, my first season of commentating there. And we had an intermediate race, and I really threw the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's see how everyone is going to get on out on track. The formation lap is about to begin, and Stian Rambo out on track. Looks like everyone has got the grid, but sadly, nobody is stuck to the tyres.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think that may well have just been... It might have just been something that they left and just said, oh, go on with it. I think as we have disqualifications immediately, if I'm not mistaken, I think everyone outside of the top 10 actually stuck to it, but inside the top 10 it's a completely different story. We see a multitude of drivers on the hard tyres. Maybe that was unintentional, because that's rather odd to see. Usually everyone could just select them. So maybe they just... Maybe the game, I have had that before actually, where the game just doesn't allow you to select a set of tyres. So maybe that's what's caught them out there, because certainly I think everyone outside the top 10 complied with the quote-unquote part Fermi that we're running with. So that's going to unfortunately change up some things out of this race, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if we're going to keep running, but I really don't want to have to restart this race for a third time. But yeah, these top three all on the same strategy behind them is just a little bit mixed up.
It is a little bit mixed up. Invictus, Zero, Nellis, Bart and Freak Ronk are all on a set of hard compound of tyres. Everyone else, though, is pretty much stuck to the same tyres that they were on, especially in the bottom half of the field, which is quite surprising. You would normally expect the guys at the top end of the field to be different. I think Hulkenberg's the only exception, if I'm not mistaken, down there in the bottom half. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres. I think he was on a set of hards. Somebody, I think, has swapped from hards to mediums, if I'm not mistaken. But... just looking at Freak Ronk commenting, probably the best comment of the night so far. I hope they have enough fuel for the safety car.
That's a very good point, actually. I'm not actually sure if we can answer that question, because it's certainly not a guarantee, that's for sure. And James, I'm just going to keep talking, so you don't get a chance to turn the tables on me by asking me my prediction. I know exactly what you have in mind. Don't worry, I can read them like a book, guys. We've been commentating for too long. So here we go now. Stian Rambo to the front of the grid. Rocksteady will join him on that front row. So we'll see how they fare. Of course, it is, as we alluded to in the past stream, it is quite a short run into turn one. So we'll see, of course, who's going to get away better from the front of the grid. And if you get that good start, well, the slipstream's not going to play much of a role. So expect the lead to be disputed between exclusively the top two on the grid as now they line up at the rear of the field there. Jeffrey will be the last car to settle. So here we go then. Stian Rambo and Rocksteady, your front row. Let's see who's going to claim that lead heading into turn one.
And we're about to get underway finally in Baku. For the second time of asking, the 5 red lights come on. And we're about to go racing here in Baku. And it's lights out and away we go. Invictus has got a shocking start off the grid. And Stian Rambo and Rocksteady are down the inside line, trying to get the move done down towards turn one. But Stian Rambo holds it, and there's a spinner in fourth position. And that is Torenheim that is round. Torenheim through turn one is round on a set of soft compounded tyres. Judging by this, it's cold tyres. And I think there's already a VSC in deployment. Yeah, VSC has been deployed, and Invictus already out of the race. I wonder if he's retired that out on track. I wonder if we're going to restart this thing.
Yeah, we'll see. As there's absolute chaos there down there under the VSC. Their cars jostling for possession down the straight and leaking several seconds. So there's confusion down there. I'm gonna see, of
Back
course,
underway.
eventually us get going. We are immediately back underway indeed. So now we are resuming racing now with Steen Rambo still leading the way. Rock City, oh right on his rear wing, trying to track him. Going through turn 7 of the lap. Then as we light us through, then the field has strung out a significant amount there. You can see Invictus there.
Oh,
Target turn
Steen
3. We
Rambo.
got yellows up the front. Steen Rambo's gone in the castle section.
He's crashed into the castle section, got too close to the left-hand side wall. The car was pretty much sideways anyways, and Steen Rambo now has lost the lead of the race, and already we've got drama here in Baku, and Rock City now inherits the lead with Mays in second. Nellis is up to third, but he's got right tail end plate damage. Looking through the field, Zero in fourth. He hasn't got any damage. Schmidtski's up a few positions. Jack Roos, Dave Mild, everyone pretty much up positions, but I think a majority of the field have either been caught up in some sort of incident or they've been caught up in that turn 1 carnage.
It's utter madness here in the first lap at Baku. There's a 4-second gap between Nellis and the race leaders. That's because he is stacking up Zero
Safety
without
car.
wing damage. Zero trying to get alongside a full safety car now at the end of the first lap. The first lap, sorry. That's
Dave Miles has
dramatic.
crashed.
Jeez, thanks to Dave Miles now going on. What on earth is going on?
Oh, no rear wheels, I think, on that car as we fly through there. Hulkenberg there, and Dave Miles, yeah, he's got no cars left. He's got no rear tyre coming through. He's obviously lost it underneath the safety car. Safety car was deployed before he lost it, so he's actually lost it underneath the safety car, which is such a shame. But now, this really throws the cat amongst the pigeons. I did say Chaos Carnage, VSCs and safety cars. I didn't expect it on lap 1.
You've literally ticked off all 4 boxes on the first lap. That is rather sensational. Of course, probably not what we exactly want to be seeing, but it is sort of almost an inevitability of racing around Baku. You can see Dave Miles now at the session. We already lost 3 drivers on the first lap. We have seen a few coming in to serve pit stops. What are you seeing, James?
It was Steen Rambo who crashed, I think, and brought out the safety car, because Steen Rambo is now out of the race. After that spin coming through the castle section, he must have lost it somewhere out on track, which we didn't spot. Steen Rambo was out of the race.
Oh my, that is absolutely gutting for Steen Rambo, having such a promising qualifying section on pole position is dramatically turned around. Invictus, a championship contender, is also out the way, so Rock City and Mays are the 2 Mercedes now seem to have an iron grip on this race, but how well are the soft tyres going to serve them? It will, I think, is kind of assist their strategy against the medium stars, because they can just hold back their tyre wear. And certainly further back, Zmetsky, a brilliant start, up into 4th place it will be, up 7 places. Silas, an incredible start. You can see he's going to be up 13 places, sorry, coming through now. In that racing point is already one of the top runners on the hard tyre, the 2nd top runner behind Zero. That is remarkable. Silas, who had disaster back in qualifying, of course, immediately making up for it. Now runs in the top 5, 2nd highest hard runner. Game on, I think, for Silas. We'll see what he can make of that. But yeah, coming down from 18th on the grid, that is simply sensational. I think that just shows just staying out of trouble with the first lap has rewarded several drivers with a huge heap of positions to start off this race.
Yeah, Hulkenberg served the Blessed up 8 positions as well. Both Hasses up from 7th up to 7th and 9th out on track as well, as we are back still under the safety car. Jack Roos served the Blessed. The Blessed has lost the position to Jack Roos, and both Satmy King and Jack Roos, interestingly, are into the pit lane. So they are both in. Just seeing if there's anybody coming else into the pit lane. No, there's not. Freak Ronka's the one that's going to catch up to the back of the safety car, but we see with Jack Roos, front wing change, and he goes on to a set of medium compound of tyres, so he's going 2 stop to the end. Satmy King on a set of hard compound of tyres. I think he'll get 17 laps out of those hards and then pit in for a set of softs towards the end.
Yeah, I was wondering if anyone was going to be so ambitious as to maybe pit for the hard tyres and try and go to the end of the race, but with the level of tyre dig around here, I think that is going to be a near impossible ask. We will see, of course, if anyone's going to be bold enough to try that, but I think you're risking a puncture if you opt for a strategy of that sort. So, we now have the only 2 soft runners on the grid are now leading the race, Rock City and Mays. Of course, you have a handful of drivers that were onto the hards, whereas otherwise, without the restart, they would have been on the soft tyres to open things up here today. So let's have a look and see what's going to happen here. I think Shimetsky may well be a one to watch on the mediums. Maybe you could try and attack Zero. I expect that the hards, especially now behind the safety car, may well be struggling a little bit for temperature. Of course, we got the safety car and a VSA on the first lap, so he didn't really have much time to really get temperature onto those tyres. So I think that Zero, Silas, Passels, the likes, they're all running in top positions. They may well struggle a little bit to get them back on the island. Because of course they're going to be struggling a lot more to get those in the operating window. I expect they'll get back to racing on this lap. The safety car guides us round into the third sector of the lap. Right. We are all converged. I haven't got the notification, but I guess we are getting back to the racing here at the end of lap 3.
Yeah, lights went out just coming through turn 15, and Rock City now essentially is the safety car out on track. He has got to set very consistent pace. Everyone has got to try and set up for a good run coming out of the final couple of corners. You see Salas now closing up to the back of Schmitsky and nearly getting too close to the back of Schmitsky, but we are about to get back underway very soon indeed. When will Rock City go? I think on the exit of turn 20 here is the time where he'll go. Just before the DRS detection zone, I think, is where he will go. I hope he will go at this DRS detection zone, otherwise we're just going to be looked at absolute fools. And now Rock City goes just after the DRS detection zone, and now he's underway, and we're back underway, and Salas is side by side with Schmitsky, but he can't overtake as they cross the line. But now Salas down the inside line, can he get the move done down in towards turn 1? No, Schmitsky holds sway and he holds on into P4. Further down the field we've got Nellis going up the inside. Oh, there's already a spinner. Hulkenberger's round through turn 1. He's done a Torenheim on the first lap of the race. Hulkenberger's round. Not sure if we've got a deployment of a safety car or anything like that. We're not getting any notifications through. Storm is through on Bart further down the field. But Rock City leads. May 2nd, Zero 3rd, Salas 4th, Schmitsky 5th. Parcel 6th, Storm run on the back of Serve the Blessed, not quite close enough. Jeffrey, by the way, running in AI mode. He must have left the session at some point in the formation lap, and he's now running back down through the field. If he joins back, honestly, he could be in with really good points, and already my prediction has gone right down the Swanee from early on in qualifying.
Yeah, Hulkenberg now bending it, coming out of turn 1, and immediately those cold tyres, he was on the mediums, maybe not quite as bad as what the hard runners are experiencing, but Hulkenberg making the mistake. We're down to just 15 cars down here. You can see things really bunching up there, heading through turn 7 there. Freak Broken Chatter is getting very close. Tornheim is holding them all up here in this fight. So the AlphaTauri there, who looks pretty good in qualifying, is certainly had it all his own way so far here today. Further up the field, Silas looks very quick. He was able to get past Schmitsky down there at turn 2, and is now looking to try and hunt down Zero just up the road to the Red Bull. Predictably, the two Mercedes are starting to move away at the front on those soft tyres, making the most of it there as they need to try and establish that gap and build on it early on in this race before their tyres start degrading near the end. As look at this, I think Rock City's backing off there immediately. Rock City coming out turn 19 maybe. So Rock City dives to the pit lead, has given up the race lead. Mays now leads. Drama at Mercedes. Now Rock City has got a huge task now from wing change. Surely it'll be going on there. Put hard tyres, maybe try and go to the end, but that's disaster for the race leader now.
Didn't see what happened. So the Blessed runs by coming through turn 1, and then I saw Storm is now on the inside line. He should get the move done down in towards turn 2. Beautiful move by NSR Storm. He's doing, he's up into 7th. Really improving in terms of his race car, but looking behind. So the Blessed now, Bart right in behind as well, and Bart used up the overtake mode to try and get past. No DRS, remember, till the next lap around, and Bart is through on Save the Blessed. He breaks early, and Bart is now through, and he's up into 8th position, making good ground in that set of medium compound of tyres. As you say, disaster for Rock City. Not sure what happened. I can only assume he's got wide coming out of turn 19. He's had a bit of a half spin essentially, went into the wall, right side end plate damage for Rock City, and that is why suddenly he went from being over second clear to not leading at all and being down at the back of the field. Nellis is right on the back of Passels though.
Tornheim looking down the inside and serve the Blessed at turn 7. That is not a corner you want to be going side by side through, and he just about thought better of it. In the end, was able to get the car stopped and still behind the Haas then over that battle. Over 9th and 10th place, Serve the Blessed struggling, I think, to get these cars activated. And
down the inside line.
Passes in a turn 15. He makes it stick. on the entry, just squeezing past the Renault at 14, and the Ferrari moves through turn 8 instead of the Blessed are battling again. Now hitting at turn 16, you cannot go side by side with these cakes surely. Turn 8 holds the inside line, will get in front, 7 the Blessed gets a better exit, draws back alongside as they enter turn 17. You cannot go side by side here. Here we go, they did not yield, letting it 7 the Blessed into the wall. He almost collects Freak Frog now, 7 the Blessed spearing off. It is simply almost impossible.
Tonham's got damage.
Go wheel to wheel, go through here. Tornado with damage as well. Disaster for both drivers. Surely they're both going to have to come in here.
Yep, Tonham in. Sammy King run on the back to serve the Blessed in as well. Bart is on the back of NSR Storm. Disaster. You cannot go too wide through there. What Serve the Blessed did, he used up his overtake mode to try and get the move done through turn 18. Never, ever use up the overtake mode coming through turn 18. That's what we've just learnt there out on track. Here comes Bart, though, using up the overtake mode down and towards turn 3. And, well, you see the result is actually NSR Storm is very late on the brakes. But Bart is through and he's up into 7th position. I'm really impressed by Bart currently, though, out on track. Nellis as well on the back of Schmidtsky, getting past Parcells and has really heated up onto the back of Schmidtsky. Mays is 3 seconds clear now. And he's got a massive advantage, I think. Those tyres will not be as worn as what we first feared. I can't even get my words out. First feared out on track. But Mays is pulling away.
Yeah, and he's making the most of that there. I think he's been a small area. He's lost a bit of time going through that castle section. But yeah, Mays looks very comfortable up at the front. For the moment, though, we'll see if that holds out. But he's certainly looking good up at the front of the race there. I think Sammy King's made a mistake. He was in the castle section. Massive wing damage there.
Yeah, he's got a T-tray there out on track. It's like toxic. Back in TTL a couple of seasons ago where he had a T-tray, I think in Belgium, and Sammy King hits the wall again. Very lucky to not be out the race so far. He's just got to try and maintain that, but this is what we're seeing. Chaos Carnage. VSC's safety cars pretty much in the first 6 laps of the race. Here comes, though, Nellis on the back of Schmidtsky, and Schmidtsky trying to close up to the back of Salas. It could be a 3-way down in towards turn 1. 3-way downs possibly, but Schmidtsky on the outside line of Salas. Nellis sets a new fastest lap of the race. Schmidtsky all the way on the outside of turn 1. Nellis just shuts the door on him. Had a bit of a spin coming through turn 1 there as well. But nothing he could really do. Nellis had the inside line. He got the run. He got the traction. He just had a little bit of a moment. But he's through and he's up into P3. But Nellis is right on the back of him, using up the overtake mode. Is he going to go for the move in the Ferrari? Yes, and he's later on the brakes in Salas, and he gets the move done. Forces it through the Tifosi, and Nellis is through and he's up into 3rd. And Nellis, again, another one that's really impressing me so far.
Yeah, Nellis, great piece of driving to pick up those 2 places and move up there. Freak Frog as well for the down the field was looking at NSR Storm hanging in a turn at 4, but just about back out of that one. He's on the medium tyres, but we wanting to try and make the most of it there. NSR Storm still on the hards that he started the race on. It's really struggling in Alfa Romeo to get the traction down and keep hold of that 8th place. We'll keep it going in a turn 7. It's so difficult to make overtakes going through the 2nd sector. Of course, there is no DRS and the track is very, very narrow. And of course, full of just these very tight corners where overtaking does not usually come to pass. So Storm holding on in front of Freak Frog, but how much longer can he hold that one? Now, Nellis runs to that 3rd place. May well be able to get up there. Zero has actually started clawing back on Mays, so maybe now the soft tires are starting to go off there. Mays is looking pretty good though on his ERS, so he can use that if need be. But Zero is looking very, very impressive so far in that Red Bull, and he's comfortably clear of the rest of the field at the moment. So it is looking relatively solid out there for the Red Bull man. 2.5 seconds off the race lead then, as Zero still holding firm out there for the back. Silas holding on in front of Schmidtsky. That battle still resumes there, and Freak Frog, I think they will be looking at trying to get through. But NSR Storm there, picks up the DRS and slipstream down the inside. Cruises down the inside again onto the race. Can he get it stopped? And turn it for turn 1, runs wide up against the wall, and then back underneath him comes the Alfa Romeo. Now they're side by side in a turn 2 then. You got to be careful not to make contact with the wall.
Brilliant
Somehow they keep it clean, and Freak Frog gets it done. Sweeps round the outside, was able to make up for that mistake at turn 1, made the move stick, now runs into 8th place, can try and chase in the pack up ahead. Freak Frog made that one stick. Storm with less grip on those hards, had no resistance to apply, and the Williams are through now into P8 out there on the roads.
And I believe Bart, who was 2/10 off, has just picked up slight damage out on track. Not sure, but he is beginning to rein in on the back of Passels once again. Free Grunk now in clear air. He'll begin to eat into the advantage. Look at the mediums compared to NSR Storm. He's 1.5 seconds clear already. Really finding the time. Torrenheim instead of the Blesser go down towards turn 3. So the Blesser, I think, has just got through on Torrenheim. And he's throwing it up into 13th position now in the Haas. And the AlphaTauri, of course, of Torrenheim pitted in as a result of front wing damage. Sammy King then 15th, also putting in as a set of front wing damage. I wonder how many times we'll say that throughout tonight. Lap 8 out of 26. Lap 9 about to begin. Maze has extended the gap again. 3.1 seconds is the gap from 0 and second. Now listen, third. Schmidtsky right on the back there with Salas for fourth. Bart there in behind as well on the back of Passels. But we'll see. I think Maze possibly edging towards the pit lane at the end of the next lap as he comes across the line. 45.7 improves on his personal best. Here comes Bart though on the back of Passels. McLaren against Renault. And yeah, you just see what happens there. Bart is through and he's up into 6th.
Yeah, straightforward move for DGFC. Bart now has Schmidtsky and Silas right in front there, so he's done a very good job on the McLaren. We'll see if he can try and keep that going. Jack Truss may be well be the next driver to attack NSR Storm. Was already looking towards that inside line, heading through turn 2, and the Alfa Romeo stops almost in front there, doesn't get a good exit, and truly the Renault is on him there. A championship contender, Jack Truss, has not had his own way so far. Now looks to the inside, aim for turn 3, gets very, very close. They both vie for the latest on the brakes, but the inside lines with the Renault, he runs him up towards the wall. Just keeps it clean though. Storm had to get out of that one there, loses another place. Jack Truss gets through, and he's trying to keep his championship hopes alive, but with Invictus out, and Jack Truss well down the field, and Tornheim of course not able to show up. Oh, sorry, not Tornheim, sorry, Jimmy Storm, yeah, my apologies there. It does mean that Maze now, in the race lead out there, has a massive chance of establishing a rather sizable championship lead. If he keeps this going, the Mercedes driver could be on for a huge advantage up at the front of the standings.
Jack Roos getting very close to our camera coming through the castle section there, and Storm having a bit of a snap of oversteer as well, so close to hitting the wall. We've got a bit of a 4-car train though developing. Silas, Schmidtsky, Bart, who I think is quickest. Oh, he goes into the back of Schmidtsky. Goodness me, very late on the brakes. He was trying to challenge his inner Project Cars too. I think he's got right tail end plate damage as well. Yeah. He has. Bart has got right tail end plate damage, and now Passels is going to run back into contention. One outbreak like that can just turn your race upside down. And again, that's what we've exactly just seen. Here comes Schmidtsky though, look at the overspeed on the back of Salas. Salas on the inside line, Schmidtsky on the outside line, Schmidtsky late on the brakes, and Schmidtsky is through, and he's round the outside, but Salas is still there. Salas is still there, and he's got the car nosing ahead as we come down towards turn 2. Schmidtsky bravely backing out, and he realises that he's got the DRS detection zone and Salas hasn't, and now he's going to have a proper go on him down in towards turn 3. And Schmidtsky to the inside line, nearly thought about a change of a line there from Salas. Salas very late on the brake. Schmidtsky and Salas leaving everything out on track, but Schmidtsky with a bit of wheel banging gets through and he's up into 4th, and Rock City is now through on Jack Roos, and he's through and he's up into 8th.
That was very clever. Sorry, what is it?
I was just going to say, Jack Roos has got right side end plate damage. I wonder if he's hit the wall coming out of turn 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's maybe explaining it, because I didn't think he was under any sort of pressure. Rock City, of course, trying to recover, and he's doing a decent job of things right now. So Jack Roos again suffering out there, and he may have to try and limp that Renault back. He definitely has way down. He's hit the wall again. Coming out of turn 7 this time, and I'm not sure if he has that T-tray that we were mentioning earlier. We'll keep a little eye out there.
Oh yeah, he does.
No, he does. Yeah, that's bitterly disappointing for the Renault, and a day for championship contenders to be having these sort of moments. It's still allowing Maze. Zero has Chloe in the back a fair bit, and actually Nellis is reining him in as well. So it's all starting to tighten up. I expect that Maze will be pit lane bound very, very soon. He knows that he does not want to engage in the wheel-to-wheel contact now. Dives to the pit lane. So the Mercedes comes in on a round 10. He's got damage, Maze.
Left side left side end plate damage I think he's got coming into the pits. I'm not sure if he's going for a wing change. No, it's just my eyesight. I couldn't see the winglet. Maze still safe. Free Gronk, by the way, is through down on Passels, and he's through and he's up into 5th. Jack Roos and NSL Storm.
as Freak broke. That was him running extremely close to the wall. Gets squeezed by passes. They're still battling away in a turn 2. Round the outside goes Freak broke. He makes that one stick, but he was incredibly close to hitting the wall. Coming out of turn 1, just about saved it. Passils came back at him down the inside, couldn't quite see it through. Freak broke very bravely went round the outside of turn 2 and saw it through. Managed to claim that 5th place and just made that move stick eventually. So, Maze coming in, and he is actually behind Rock City now. Rock City actually coming in so much earlier and making that work. Now runs in front of TTG Maze, and Maze now is going to have to try and work his way back past his teammate. So Rock City had some trouble earlier on. Now he can try and hold back Maze for as long as he can, but Maze on fresh mediums. Surely this won't be much for a fight between the two Mercedes. Maze closing up to him, and I expect the Mercedes will go to battle, but I don't exactly anticipate Rock City putting up much of a fight.
Nellis, I'm not sure if he's trying to get heat into the tyres or if he's got damage. Can't see from this camera angle. We'll see coming down in towards turn 15. No, he hasn't got any damage. I think he was just trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres. Speaking of heating up, Salas right on the back of Schmidtsky. These two are now glued together for 3rd, and Schmidtsky in a good position here possibly to take a podium. But Rock City and Maze not getting the temperature into those tyres just yet. Rock City pulling away and is on the back of Passels, 0.8 of a second. Don't be surprised if you see that move go in Rock City's favour very soon indeed. But we'll run on board with Salas for now, who needs to be careful on his ERS consumption. He's got 3% left underneath this DRS detection zone, and Schmidtsky, who tries to break the toe in front of him, running down the straight. Schmidtsky will hold on to P3. Rock City, I think, is going to get Passels possibly down in towards turn 3, I would think, as Passels is still in 6th position in that Renault, and I believe, if it's not my eyesight, he has got left side end plate damage.
Yeah, I did actually notice that a bit earlier when you were talking over him. Now, we're seeing now Rock City on the attack against Passels down the inside. Surely, Passels can't resist this. So wheel to wheel, but through Rock City into 6th position. He puts a car between himself and Passels spears to the side. Can he turn 3? Maze immediately down the inside, over the curb. Can he get out stopped? There's a bit of wheel to wheel contact. Passels had to get out of that one. Maze, ambitious, just about worked though. He lost a lot of time in making that move, but Passels hopped across the curb, but just about stopped it and didn't force Passels into the wall. So the Renault loses out after that mistake. Now drops out to 8th. Maze moves up into 7th, as now Jeffrey's AI car is battling with Storm in the background.
And he's just overtaken him out on track as well. He's down in there in 9th position. Just running both Nellis. He is running very low gears coming through the middle sector. He's just trying to prioritise, I think, the traction out on track. But look at him, he runs wide and he's just losing that time. He closes up to about 2.5 tenths off the back of Zero. And now Zero has got absolutely no chance. Zero's very slow indeed. Has he got any damage? Nellis is going past. And no, Zero has just been overtaken by Nellis. Clean as you like, and Nellis now in the lead of the race, and I wonder if this is now a bit of a game between these two. Nellis into the lead of the race, Zero in 2nd, and these guys are going to be going on probably to around, for Nellis certainly to around, I think, lap 17, lap 18. Zero could continue on to about lap 21, if I've got to be honest, if he can continue on those tyres. No overtakes. We're halfway through here in Baku. It's Nellis who leads, Zero 2nd, Schmidtsky 3rd, Silas 4th, Gronk in 5th. Silas hits the wall coming out of turn 2. Not sure if he picked up any damage. As Gronk now tries to close up. The Racing Point stuck in a bit of a Williams sandwich out on track. But you can see he's not close enough down in towards turn 3. And again, Silas hits the wall. Got to be very careful not to pick up any front wing damage. He hasn't got any, but he's got to be very careful now.
This battle's really heating up because both Mercedes who have came into the pits are also closing in on this one. Again, Silas up against the wall. He is really he's really trying his luck, I must say, and keeping that again locking up. So Silas struggling to keep it basically together, but he is showing decent enough pace and reining in Schmidtsky. Oh, he hits the wall this time for good! And there's contact behind, they all stack up! I think Rock City went into the back as well. He pinches Freak Frog against the wall. The Williams goes round. Chaos, carnage down there. And we have full course, with full safety car coming out there. And what this has done, it has massively benefited the front too. It's given Rock City damage. It's almost completely ruined Freak Frog's race. Silas got damage. Silas got damage, of course. Yeah, no front wing, spearing off into the wall in turn 15. And now he almost comes getting completely out of the race then to Silas's race. We saw he was making mistakes, but eventually it comes to bite him, and Freak Frog's out as well.
Coming out of turn 15, I think he's hit Salas's AI car, possibly. As Jeffrey's AI is now stopped out on track. Not sure what's going on there. Answers on a postcard, please. Nellis into the pit lane from the lead of the race. He's got a 5-second time penalty for not sure what he might have picked up, probably under the last safety car. But Nellis is into the pit lane from the lead of the race, and Zero gets that front wing change, so that's why he was struggling. Through that middle sector, he had a front wing change, and now it promotes Maze possibly into the lead of the race. Coming out of the pit lane, it is. Maze is in the lead.
So Maze just about hung on to that one there. Nellis is now going to have to try and track him down. Zero emerges third. Shemetsky will be fourth. Of course, Shemetsky, who started, I believe, on the medium tyres, now forced onto the hard tyres, has a bit of a disadvantage in that regard then, heading into the second half of this race. So things have been dramatically shaken up there. Despite Rock City getting damaged twice in this race already, he still runs in 5th place and within a shot of still potentially fighting for a podium, maybe even in the race win, if things go his way in the second half of this one. So absolute mayhem is what we've witnessed here in the opening to this race. We now just have 13 cars remaining here in Baku, and I don't think we expected anything else. Oh, I've just seen Sever the Blessed run into the wall again coming out of turn 15, and he's got himself damage on the safety car. James, I'm almost overwhelmed here. This race has been... I don't have a better word to describe it than nuts. It's been completely chaotic, and somehow Maze still leads the way. But yeah, it's just been complete madness out there on the track. Maze leads the way, Nellis into second place. We have 6 cars out of the race then, and I don't think we can really make any predictions for how the remainder of this Grand Prix is going to shake up, because I think what we've learned from not only this race, but pretty much every single motor race ever staged at Baku, is to expect the unexpected.
It is to expect the unexpected, and it's almost as if somebody in Division 2 last night has flicked a switch and said, you know what? Let's give Division 5 one of the worst experiences of their lifetime here in Baku. But this is why we love Formula 1. We love races like this. It might not be a race of the season candidate, but still, it provides a little bit of action out on track, and hopefully we'll get to see some very clean overtakes. Majority of the overtakes have been clean tonight, which is good. We've had some good battles, which is good as well. But Baku really catching everyone out. Free Gronk, Sardas, Hulkenberg, De Miles, Steen Rambo, and Invictus all out of the race. Invictus coming there in the comments section as well, saying someone readied up so a few people didn't have time to get setups and change tyres. And I can tell you, because I saw who it was NSR Storm, who readied up very early on, and nobody got the chance to switch onto their compound tyres that they required. So I think there's going to be a few smacked wrists at the end of tonight.
Yeah, it almost feels like a bit of an empty round of the championship. Of course, I hate saying that, but of course, the circumstances and all the events that worked against us, it has certainly breeded a bit of a unique dynamic, but maybe not the most fair, of course, given the kind of nullification of the top 10. Although this is actually a bit of a worthy point, seeing as we Sever the Blessed is a long way behind, so we may still have to wait for a little while before we get back underway. It's an interesting prospect, racing without having the Parc Ferme and the top 10 having that free choice of tyres. It's something that is very divisive, the top 10 rule, I believe, in real Formula 1, because especially on this game, I feel, is that outside the top 10 can, at some tracks, give you a massive strategy advantage. And so it's quite intriguing to see potentially, maybe an event like this where obviously we had lobby issues, and we can maybe just see something a little bit different with some drivers who, of course, didn't select the tyres that they qualified on ahead of this second race that we're seeing tonight. So it's just something. I know it doesn't have much to do with what we've seen on track tonight, but it's just a bit of a point to make about how that rule and the absence of that can really change the racing here, and it does kind of give the guys that qualified up front maybe you might think an advantage that they deserve on merit by allowing them to freely choose their tyres as well. So yeah, just something I wanted to bring up there. Maybe that's something we can look into for the future for leagues. Maybe is to just allow that. So just in the interest of fairness and making sure that those who qualify at the front get their money's worth. with their strategy ahead of the race.
Yeah, we don't want to be paying our drivers to come in. We've already got one league on a Friday night that does that. I'm not naming any names. Just seeing some reaction as well from Invictus. He's, I think, the Division 5 admin for us tonight. And he's saying that quite a few people who are now out of the race are calling for a restart out on track. Now, I see the answers for and I see the answers against, but we just have to make do of the situation that we are all in. We cannot change anything. You guys out on track cannot change anything. We might, you never know, there might be a talk after this race. It might get voided and we might restart at the end of the season. Who knows? But to anybody that is trying to call for a restart, just sit, watch the action, pay attention, and see how you can improve as drivers. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that crashed out are very unclean. Most of the guys aren't even Division 5. But I'm just saying, calm it down, let it sink in. There'll be a talk, probably a professional talk in the scenes. Invictus, all the admins will get together and we'll see what happens after this race. But for now, sit back, relax, underneath the flame towers here in Baku, grab some popcorn, grab an alcoholic drink or two. I think we'll be needing one, I think, after this commentary for sure. We're going to go on probably until about midnight at this rate. Maze currently out on top, Nella second and Zero in third. Baku really throwing up a lot of issues, but also a lot, hopefully, of great action as well still to come. And we've still got 10 laps left. I feel like this race has gone on for ages.
We've been on the air for well over an hour now, and usually we'd be done by now. So it's a rather unique one, but we'll see. Hopefully the rest of the race is going to live up to what we've come to know and love from this division. I'm not sure if we're going to get back to racing on this lap because the Serve the Blessed is still a rather long way behind out there. As I think we are staying out yet another lap. These safety car boards are still out. As
safety car lights are out. Safety car lights are out. So the Blessed did pit in. I think he picked up more front wing damage on that last lap there. And now we're about to get back underway. And what this does is really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. There are the position changes for you guys out on track. Maze 2, Nellis 5, 0, 3 is the top three, and Maze has gone. Maze has gone already, 180 mile an hour, but he's going to have to stay at that right to the line, and he's going to time it to absolute perfection. And we're back underway now in Baku, and Maze leads the way from Nellis in second, 0 in third, Schmitsky in fourth. Nobody, I don't think, is close enough down the inside towards turn 1. Nellis is back, and Nellis has lost it coming out of turn 1. Goodness me, already drama, and Schmitsky ran the outside line. Nellis is trying to feed it in there on the inside line. Schmitsky just about hangs on, ran the outside, he gets moved up, but now Nellis uses up the overtake mode and easily sails past him. Here's Rock City now arriving on the scene, right on the back of Schmitsky. He's not going to be close enough as Nellis is now through and he's up into P3. But that's a mistake that Nellis didn't want to get. He's only lost one position as a result, but that's going to knock his confidence for the rest of the race.
Yeah, Nels had a superb run going through turn 1, was right on the back of Maze after being caught nabbing on the restart. He'd almost made it up, but spun up the rear tyres and almost lost it. Did really well to keep it out the wall. Now he's on the back foot though and trying to recover against Maze and Zero now. Up at the front of the Mercedes and the Red Bull. And they cruise through turn 9, dead inside. And in turn 7, he forces him against the wall. And they're both in the wall.
Way too late.
Coming out there. Yeah, you cannot be fitting two cars going through there. I've seen Tornheim almost go for that earlier on in the race. They do still walk away from it and keep going, but yeah, that is disaster for the pair of them there. Tornheim went for the move, but ultimately you just cannot fit two cars through there if you're lunging from a long way back.
Yep, Tornheim has got left side end plate damage as well out on track, and that's why you don't lunge right down the inside of turn 7 out on track and not get away with it, because you really can't get away with it around here at Baku. Here comes Zero though on the back of Maze. This is still 9 more laps to go after this one. Unbelievable, I know. Zero right on the back of Maze. The DRS will be enabled not next time around. Rock City as well. You can just see there in the background of shot. He's about to get the move done on Schmitsky. Pit window apparently is now open for these guys. Lap 18 to 21 to take a set of softs to the end. I think these guys are now committed to a strategy. Bart is late around the outside on Passels as well, trying to get the move done, but he can't. Schmitsky trying to feed back in there on Rock City. Lots of action happening. Tornheim back into the pit lane. So the Blessed now promoted up into 12th position. Nobody close enough for the move, and Mays still leads the way. But just how far is he going to go on that set of medium compounded tyres? Because I have a feeling he might get a puncture before the end of this race.
It could well be very, very tight. Of course he will. He's been on those tyres for over 6 laps already. We still have about 9 laps left to go here at Baku. You are really stretching it in that guard, so keep an eye out. He may still be able to make it, but it is going to be tight. We'll see if that's going to put Zero potentially an even bigger threat to him. Or are we going to see a familiar game of Baku cat and mouse between our two race leaders? Once DRS is activated, you can see them jumping back and forth every single lap, trying to reclaim that leading position and maybe time it for the last lap. And I'm not sure if Mays is going to be able to hold on. It's not just about him getting a puncture, it's just his tyres degrading and giving the opportunity for the likes of Zero, Nels, Rock City, who have fresher tyres, to really jump on that. Rock City's incident a few laps ago that brought out the safety car when Silas went off may well turn out to be a blessing in disguise because he has those fresher tyres, but we'll keep looking in front because Zero is the main threat to DG Mays, and he's coming again then. Overtake is activated immediately, shuts it off, though he's not going for it just yet. He'll hold back for now as we come over the line with 8 laps to go. Rock City again has got a pretty good run, but he's used virtually all of his overtake as they head in a turn 1 there. It breaks much later than Nellis, who's forced to the inside line, runs out on the exit, and Rock City trying back on the inside in a turn 2. Here goes the Mercedes. No, just hangs back from that one there. Does not want to be going for a move as ambitious as that in a turn 2. Boy, you can barely fit 2 cars going through there. So Rock City backs out of that one, and Nellis holds P3. Zero now with DRS. It's not close enough to Mays just yet. Mays made it to taking the lead, but in his defence, he's used a bit more ERS than Zero has. So maybe Zero, who runs a bit wide going through turn 4, just about rescues it. But the Red Bull, I think, once DRS is activated and that he's got an ERS advantage on Mays, may well attack maybe in the next few laps, and he could try and look to grab that race lead off of Mays and hunt for potentially a race win this season that could potentially kick off a championship campaign.
It's a shame Jeffrey's AI is still going in this race. It's a shame actually Jeffrey's not here, because he's in 10th position as AI car. He's doing a fantastic job. Currently it's like Day Miles all over again in Russia, remember, last season. Mays leading the way from 0 and 2nd, but I'll contradict you what you've just said there, because Mays has got 60% of ERS, and he actually is beginning to control this race, I feel like, in front, because Zero is just overrunning it through the corners. He's getting close enough, but he's not getting close enough for a move, and this is why Mays, I think, is probably trying to hold off on the tyres now, just hold on behind these guys if he gets overtaken, and then has Zero put right in front of him, and then Mays will have a go, possibly towards the final couple of laps of the race, as now Zero closes in once again. DRS is now enabled this lap around, and you can see the closing speed of Zero. Is he going to be close enough, though, then, and towards turn 1? He's going to run out of time, I think, but he is going to be there, as he sets a new fastest lap of the race. Zero down the inside line, Mays around the outside, Mays hangs on, and that is why Mays is hanging on, as now Zero tries to go down the inside of turn 2. No, he's got to try and pressurise in for a mistake, but in fact he's just made his own mistake, and Nellis is right on the back of this as well, as now Nellis tries to close in, Zero tries to close in on Mays. I don't think he's going to be close enough down in towards turn 3. I think we've seen Bart go past on Passos as well, further down the field, so that's a good move for him. Jack Roos is right on the back of Schmidtsky, running down in towards turn 3. Jaru's still on the back of Schmidtsky, and we remain as we are. Mays leading, Zero 2nd, Nellis in 3rd, Rock City in 4th, and these top 4 pulling away from Schmidtsky.
Yeah, the medium tyres really proving to be advantageous over the hard tyres that Schmidtsky and Jack Roos are running. Just going back to Zero there, he did have a decent go at Mays for the race lead, but he was rather indecisive on making that manoeuvre. Especially in the turn 2 there, he didn't tuck in, he didn't go for the move, he just sort of didn't really commit to either, and that potentially put him at threat from Nellis behind. May's still leading the way, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make those last. Now Zero though burned a lot of his ERS, tried to make that move, and now his advantage over Mays in terms of ERS has been completely neutralised. So Mays has a bit more over defence in that regard, so you can try and use that, but it may well be under a little bit more threat. Immediately Zero's on the overtake, he switches it off heading through turn 18, but is he going to commit to one as they head now down over the line? We'll have about 6 laps to go here in Azerbaijan, and the two race leaders are going to get tight yet again, I think there. DRS now open, but that's time. I don't think Zero is fully committed. He's holding back. He does not want to burn off the last of his DRS reserves, and Maze will hold on in the moment in the front and keep that lead heading into turn 1 there. And it does look pretty good for this opening part of the lap so far. Bart as well as battling with Janrus. Rooney outside towards turn 1 on the brakes. Gets that one done. It moves through. And now gets up into that second place in front of Janrus and in front of Passels. Still, Maze holds the race lead though. In front is there, Seven the Blessed is going almost spinning around turn 1 and now round a single storm. He takes 10th place. Seven the Blessed has to give that up. He was just been able to keep that on the American, but he was very, very hairy back there, just about held on to it, but loses that position. Sammy King was also into the pit lane. Tornades had a measurable time since that restart. So, several drivers dropping off the back, but still the top 4 group remains intact. Zero doing all he can to try and pull it back, but at the moment Mace holding it on with 5.5 laps to go, and Zero's looking under pressure. Then Nellis now coming to the fore. He's all over the Red Bulls heading to the castle section. Almost loses it though.
Yeah, Nellis has just got to be careful, I think. He's just been overrunning it coming out of turn 12, and this is where Rock City has got a chance of possibly trying to get the overtake done. If he can try and get an outside run coming through turn 12 and really hammer down on the traction, I think Rock City has got Nellis's number all day long coming out of turn 12, because every single lap he just goes too deep into the corner and runs onto the curb, and it forces him. Oh, what a Miz has spun! Miz has spun from the middle of the race! Unbelievable scenes. Out of turn 15 he's got caught on the outside curb, and Maze through turn 16 actually has now lost the lead of the race, and his bad luck comes back to bite him on the backside, and it seems like he's going to be out of the race, nearly out of the race, and you think he's got a puncture as well. He hasn't, but Maze, absolute disaster. Here comes Rock City around the outside on Nellis. Doesn't get the move done. Zero and now to lead Nellis second, Rock City in third, and once again Baku throws up another twist in the tail.
That is remarkable and heartbreaking for Maze. He was doing such a good job of defending that race lead, but in the end, his just sort of reign of terror at the front of this race came back to bite him, and now he runs down in 11th place without a safety car, and I don't think you'll be seeing a safety car of any significant impact. Then Maze looks like he's scoring very minimal points, and it's a bad day for the championship contenders in general. Jack Roos all of a sudden may well fare the best out of this, and we'll see if anyone else can try and use this sort of just mix up that we've had here today to try and make the best of it and close in. Let's have a look and see who's going to be the nearest contenders. Your current race leader, Zero, is 11th in the standings, so at the moment he can be up for a huge gain. Nellis behind him is 10th in the standings. Rock City 16th in the standing. You can see what I'm saying here. These guys currently on the podium have a huge opportunity here, as they have a huge lead now over Shemensky as well. Now almost 8 seconds back from Rock City. So at the moment, as Dow Zero beginning to establish himself up at the front, but it seems at the moment is that these top 3 out on track could really make a splash and try and get towards that championship fight. Although up in the front though, I think Rock City is going to be on the ascension here as he claws back onto the rear wing on the Ferrari, but now he's got no more ERS to use. He claws up to him, opens the DRS and draws alongside to the inside. Nellis doesn't have any ERS either, so the drag reduction system comes into play. Nellis trying to fight back all the way right outside. No! Cut off! Rock City gets into that second place and holds it now. Can he run with it into the final 3 or 4 laps of this race? DRS now for Nellis. Are we going to see cat and mouse here? Rock City again using the last of his ERS, his overtake, to stay ahead, and he will keep ahead. He will get that second place. But what this is doing, this swapping and changing, is now allowing Zero to get in front. He now leads by 1.8 seconds now up at the front, and maybe Zero could be heading for victory here with just 3.5 laps to go.
Zero's really began to pull away in the last 3 laps, certainly, and he's really beginning to pull out that gap. 1.8 seconds now is the gap. Rock City second, Nellis in third. This is the main battle, but Bart is having a sensational race out on track. He's in 5th position currently. They've got Jabberus closing in and behind as well, but Bart has been my eye catcher here today so far. Really driven an astute race and has not put a foot wrong currently out on track, where others have tried and they've failed and they've hit the wall. Bart hasn't done that, and he's in 5th position currently. Zero though leads from Rock City in second, but again, Zero losing time through that middle sector, and you saw what happened last time. Has he got front wing damage which is not visible to the eye? It's 1.3 seconds, and now Rock City is beginning to close them down.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out there. I do. Yeah, I think that there's a color code with front wing damage, and it goes dark green is completely fine, light green, then it goes yellow, orange, red. I think when you have a light green sort of very low level of damage on an end plate, it doesn't show up on the spectator camera. So that might be true for Zero. Sorry. We'll keep an eye out, see if that pattern continues going through the middle sector. He is trying to keep that car on the outside. He's running right up against the wall in a turn 2. He's certainly not letting things go. And with less than 3 laps to go, he looks pretty good up at the front, especially as he still has a slender ERS advantage over Rogue City, who, in trying to make that effort to pass Nellis, has almost nothing left to use. So Zero, even if he does have minor wing damage, it's not costing him hugely, and he's doing enough. He's doing what he needs to do to maintain it. 1.6 seconds out of the gap. Rock City can try as he might, but he's running out of time now with just 2.5 laps to go. Can he possibly fight it back then? Get up to Zero. Is it too little too late? Zero could be heading for race victory, but he's still got 2.5 laps of this fearsome Baku City circuit to go.
2.5 laps to go. Division 4's already finished. If you are tuning in from Division 4, welcome along to our world in Division 5. Zero leading the way, but getting very close to the back of Schmidtsky if you ride on board for 4th. And Bart is looking all over the back of Schmidtsky, and Schmidtsky now really under pressure, and he's another one that's going to be gaining big time. Is Schmidtsky and Bart and Javruz, who possibly could even take the championship lead, but I think it's not going to be possible unless there's penalties at play. Zero leads, 1.3 seconds gap has now stabilised. Rock City second, Nellis in third, and Nellis has been the chief loser, I think, out of the last couple of laps, and he's beginning to drop now on Rock City because of that ERS deployment. You can see Rock City using up every ounce of that ERS. I think if he wants to have a go on the final lap, save up enough ERS, but try and stay within a second of Zero ahead, possibly to try and have a go. Bart now on the back of Schmidtsky, 7/10 of a second, but already you can see where this one is going to go. Even before we get to turn 1, he's going to get this move done, and James can see the future as Bart absolutely goes and sails past. Down the inside, around the outside through turn 1, and Bart is through and into 4th. I saw that coming through turn 20.
Well, fair play to you then, James. We'll see if Bart can hold on to that when he gets his nice little legs and a little chop from the rear tyres, but he's away. And Shirley now heading for 4th place. I noticed that at the start of the race, he did get given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Serve the Blessing, what's going on back there?
Let him through. Mays up into 10th. Serve the Blessed on the inside line, letting Mays through around the outside. And now Mays is through. Torenheim going for a fastest lap attempt, I think.
Yeah, pit lane right at the death. We'll see if he can try and steal that away. I'm going to check there. Fast lap at the moment is with Satmi King down there in 12th place. There, 41.7. That's the fastest lap by some distance. So we'll see if Torenheim is able to try and top that. Look at Rock City. Rock City's within DRS now with just over a lap to go. Could that's come down to it then? It's still a long way to go, but Rock City is clawing it back. And now is a clear run at Zero there. The race lead could come down to the last lap here at Baku.
And now Rock City really beginning to close in. You do not want to be the leader onto the final lap of the race, but you do want to be the leader if you're a second away from the guy ahead. And that is what Zero, I think, has done. He's now pulled out that gap for a second, and now it is game on. Zero running down the straight. Rock City has got to save up that ERS now. He's not within DRS range, and now he's got to think and he's got to try and put Zero under pressure. I know he's 1.2 seconds ahead, but mentality is better than anything out on track. Jack Roos right on the back of Schmidtsky. Bart disposed of him last lap around. Here comes then Jack Roos on the back of Schmidtsky. Wants the final lap for the leader. Zero leads Rock City second, Nelson third. Bart 4th, Schmidtsky 5th, Javruz in 6th. We're going to remain as we are. Down in towards turn 1, I believe. Oh no, Javruz has gone into the back of Schmidtsky. Literally, as I said that, on the tip of my tongue. Javruz into the back of Schmidtsky. Right side, left side end plate damage, and it's now game over as now Mays has got the move done on SR Storm, who's trying to give every little ounce of that car and that Alfa Romeo. But Mays is now through and he's up into 9th position. The Storm tries to fight him, but he doesn't. Mays is through and he's up into 9th position. Zero with pretty much half a lap to go, 1.2 seconds. It's going to come down to the wire.
It just needs to avoid mistakes though to Zero. Rocksteady cannot at this point get close enough to apply any pressure down the DRS straight, so Zero just needs to keep this clean, but he cannot afford to give up a few tenths of a second. Even a half a second gap is extremely dangerous around Baku. Gap though sits at about a second, so it's looking pretty comfortable. Zero just about has to see it through. He only has a couple more corners of real significance separating him and the checkered flag here at this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's been a roller coaster, folks, but your race leader in the Red Bull's almost there. Coming at turn 16, able to cement the traction. He powers out now, 1.1 clear. Surely, unless it's a major error going through the last few corners there, the blessing's gone off down there at the back. We'll turn our attention though to the race lead. Zero at the moment is doing everything he needs to do. He's already waving. He knows he hasn't won. Zero comes to the line and will hold off Rocksteady. Through comes the Red Bull and Zero is your race winner. Rocksteady has to settle for second. Nellis comes through on the podium, and that is huge news. We could have 3 new championship contenders after a manic race at Baku. Bart will come through fourth. Did he serve his 5-second stop penalty? That's what I want to know. Passes is attacking Jack Rose through the line there. Can he get to his teammate? Just misses out. And Jack Rose actually gained on penalties. He gets in front of Shemetsky in the end.
Jeffrey's AI
down into second. Jeffrey's AI gets 8th place. Remarkable.
Mays coming across the line in 9th. Jeffrey's AI, definitely driver of the day, I think, after a result with that. NSR Storm across the line is picked up from wing damage, but running a T-tray out on track, but he comes across the line in 10th. I think that's his best result of the season as well. Satmi King in 11th, but Torenheim is trying for this fastest lap of the race. Let's see what he can do. Current fastest lap out on track is a 141.719. Torenheim across the line absolutely destroys it. 40.8 out on track, but I think it might have been an invalid lap. I'm just going to check this, and it was an invalid lap, so Sammy King gets an extra point.
Yeah, you can see there, Torenheim's fastest lap is counted as just a 142 flat.
So yeah, got a puncture.
The Blessed on the last lap's got a puncture.
Rear right.
It's been a nightmare race for the I don't really see rear tyre explosions on this game, so he's gonna have to try and lip home. And yeah, bitterly disappointing race for the Haas. Didn't have anything really go his way. He's just trying to get that car to the line at the end. Then, so his crossing will round off this race. And well, James, it was a roller coaster. But after about 100 minutes of preparing to end this race, we have made it, and now the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is in the books.
Azerbaijan Grand Prix is in the books, and look who gets driver of the day. Jeffrey's AI car kept out of trouble. He gets driver of the day. Fantastic performance from the AI car, but remember, he picks up absolutely zilch out on track. Zero, though, takes the win out on track. Fantastic win from him. Really dominated affairs in the last couple of laps, even though his Sector 2s weren't that great.
Yeah, he comes through in the end to win it. Rocksteady has to settle for second place. Roller coaster of a race. I think he'll be pleased with second in the end. Nellis as well. Strong finish in third place out of Bart and Jeff Rose. Shemetsky comes through in sixth place, a penalty just costing him at the end there. Passels in seventh. That's one of his better results of the season, I think. Jeffrey eighth, just remarkable, incredible. I don't think there's a more worthy recipient of that 8th place trophy. I'm sure there is one. Mays and Storm rounded at the top 10. Satmi King, Torenheim has served the blessed the last of the finishers, and then the lengthy list of DNS comes from Freak Frog, Silas, Huckelberg, Daymile, Stain Rambo, and Invictus, who didn't see out the checker flag. Two of our front two row starters didn't make the first lap, so things really changed. Fortunes really shifted throughout the race.
I was going to say as well, Jibby Storm didn't even start the race as well in third position, tied for third with Jack Roos. Jack Roos, by my calculations, finishing 5th. Mays finishing 9th. I'm going to get the point system up and just confirm this, but I believe Mays is still in the championship lead going into next week. I believe that anyways. I'm going to have a look at the rules and regulations just to confirm that. Point system, 5th gets 15, 9th gets 11. Jack Roos only gains 4 points in the end on Mays. So that gap, I believe, will be down to 9 points going into next week. Barring, of course, any penalties. Barring, of course, any disqualifications. You never know what might happen out on track. I'm afraid to say there's going to be no interviews. Judging by how much we ran over here out on track, we've all got lives to live. We're going to be heading off very soon indeed, but you can tune in, of course, on Monday for CWC. It's going to be Mark taking you through that one for CWC. Division 1 as well around France will come live to you on Tuesday night. Kieran McGinley and myself taking you through that one. Wednesday it is TTML Sprint League again. Aidan Carter and Luke Etheridge taking you through that one. Great commentary team those guys do on a Wednesday. Thursday it is Division 2 and Division 3. Myself and Mike Edwards taking you through. Nearly forgot. I was going to say you for some reason there. Mike Edwards joining me in the commentary box for Division 2. Division 3 is Aidan Carter and Conti. Aidan's getting more prone to nearly knocking me off the top spot in terms of the amount of commentaries that we do here in TTML. And we're back again Friday night underneath lockdown. Division 4 and Division 5. Graham Chappell and Cowboy taking you through Division 4. I know there was a little bit of a glitch on their end. They started just as the race began. And Division 5, it's us two again. And why wouldn't you want to tune in? Hopefully we'll finish earlier than tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to get a rest. But judging by what we've seen there out on track, and judging by how chaotic carnage, the VSCs and the safety cars came into play as well, who, in your mind, was driver of the day?
Well, that is certainly a difficult one. Obviously, Zero was very impressive. I don't think really put a foot wrong. I definitely pushed him out. I want to give a little honourable mention to Bart, because I think that he also kind of took advantage of all the circumstances around. Then again, did make a couple of smaller errors, I think, but also drove very well. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it would probably just be Zero, I guess, on the basis that he did have to put up with a lot of pressure from the likes of Rock City as well, who are chasing him down throughout the end of the race. So yeah, pretty difficult choice. It's hard to really say anyone that drove a perfect race, but I think he was probably the overall the best driver tonight. Was rewarded, of course, with the race victory.
Yeah, Zero, I think, doing a good job. I'll give an honourable mention to Bart as well. Mays was really controlling the race as well before he spun, coming through turn 16. And I think he gets an honourable mention from me as well. Really drove the socks off that Mercedes until he spun. Really good race. Luckily, we have just finished in time for us to not listen to Donald Trump, because he's speaking right now about the COVID vaccine that is coming out. Apparently it's going to be in the population by April. That's what he's saying. But anyways, thank you so much for watching here, TTML Division 5. Again, Monday night, CWC's the next time we'll be live on League Racing TV. For myself and Dan, please take care of yourselves, take care of your family, take care of your friends. We will see you next week for Division 5. But until Monday with CWC, I've been James Head, he's been Daniel Hoggard. We'll see you next time for Division 5 action around in France. Good night.